It is 13 hours 2 in Guyana and right across the Eastern Caribbean. This is Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5 FM. It's a brand new month. It is the first day of September in the year 2020, and welcome to your first edition for Wake Up Guyana for the month of September. And I'll hand you over to senior journalist Leonard Gildarie, who is working remotely from home this afternoon. Leonard, good afternoon, and I hope all is well.
Thank you very much, dear Josh. Are you guys hear me very clear?
Very clear. You're fine.
Thank you very much. It's a weird feeling operating from home, especially when you're not tech savvy like you guys. But I want to say thank you very much, Josh. And as you would have mentioned there, it is a brand new month. We have 4 more months to go before the year is end. And it has been a day of drama because today is the first day of Parliament under this new administration, the Irfan Ali administration. So it's September the 1st. It's also the first day of the month of celebrations for Amerindian month. And you know, a lot of the celebrations has been done virtually, but it is a big day for the Amerindians as well. A deputy speaker has been named, and he's no other than Leonard, and he would have his party would have joined the seat, would have picked up that one seat. That so you have third one, and then third three majority for the People's Progressive Party Civic. So I want to say welcome once again to the special edition of the Wake Up Guyana show. And it is for you to wake up and smell the coffee, because it's not about you waking up in the morning, but it's for you to start being very much aware of the powers that you have as Guyanese citizens in this wonderful country of ours. And I want to say welcome not only to the people of Berbice, but in Demerara also. Know that a lot of people are on the road right now. They're working, they're doing what they have to do to put bread on the table. Of course, to the good people down in Esquibo, you know, we have a huge following over there. And so we're going to tell you a little later how you could be able to get onto us as Kaieteur News and get onto our reporters if you have some complaints to make. So all the minibus drivers and all the taxi drivers and wherever you are, if you're seated in a vehicle, make sure that you protect yourself. I can't say it enough. You need to wear those masks. You need to make sure that you sanitize your hands. You need to keep social distancing at least 6 feet away. You need to protect your family. Assume that everybody else has it and you don't, and therefore you need to protect yourself. It is the fact that I'm here today, and yesterday I would have broken the news to tell you that I've been tested positive. It's not a very good feeling for COVID-19. I would have tested more than 2 Wednesdays ago. I only received that news yesterday. They noticed from the authorities that I've been positive. So I'm taking all precautions, operating from home. The work hasn't stopped. Although I'm feeling a little pain, it was a very uncomfortable night for me last night, I presume, because of the news. It is, you obviously you're a human being, and so you would be a little worried. But I'm back up, ready, because we have work to do. The country, the progress doesn't stop, and so let's get right down into things. This morning, the National Assembly would have met, the Parliament convened, and right on to the getting the ball of things rolling. It would have been the selection of a House Speaker. And this would have been a surprise to many, because we would have been looking at some other names, like including two attorneys at law, says Gunraj, as well as Sanjeev Dattadin. The People's Progressive Party Civic decided they're not going to go that way. It was to one of the more experienced parliamentarians that they turned their eyes towards, and no other than Mansour Nadir, Speaker of the House, Mansour Nadir. And he would have gotten down into things when it comes to the order of the business of the people in the National Assembly. And so right about now at the Artichon Convention Center, the National Assembly is looking in the Committee of Supplies rather. They are looking at the budget of several constitutional bodies, including Parliament and the Audit Office, among others, and those other commissions, to pass the budget for that. That comes before they get into the real budget for the next 4 months for the different ministries and the state agencies and so on. And so that's what's happening. But it was a day of drama because you would have seen a walkout immediately after the swearing in of the parliamentarians and the swearing in of the opposition parliamentarians. There was a walkout drama. It was all drama there at the Artichoke Convention Center. So they would have walked out. So it's a first day, and they walked out. And so we are gonna bring you some details as to why they walked out and what leader of the opposition, Joseph Harman, would have said with regards to his dual citizenship. And so let's get down into what is it that you need to know today. And it's coming to you from Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5. I'm your host, Leonard Gildarie, and I'm operating remotely away from the studio. That is because I've tested positive for COVID-19. Nothing to hide there. And then so we coming to you on Kaieteur Radio, on Facebook, also Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. So I want to say good day. And so let us get into what is it that you need to know today. And it is Amerindian month, September the 1st, and the Amerindian would have gotten some good news. One of their very own, Leonard Schumann, who would have contended on a party, Liberty and Justice Party, would have been would have gotten the votes for the deputy speaker, and the speaker of the house would have gone to veteran. I would say use the word veteran here. Parliamentarian Mansour Nadir. Mansour Nadir was a former minister within the previous government. When I say previous government, the People's Progressive Party government leading up to 2015 there. And so Leonard Schumann, deputy speaker. And so this morning, they would have also started looking at the budget for the constitutional bodies. There was that walkout. Let me tell you, we could have a discussion on this later. The president of Guyana, Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, would have announced yesterday that there is going to be a $25,000 cash grant to households affected by the COVID-19. And that is important. It is not going to be on a selective basis. It is all households in Guyana, 200,000 plus households. I understand. I was told by officials this morning that that is going to all households, $25,000 plus cash grant to the COVID-19 affected household as part of the relief measures for COVID-19. Region 2 will have an REO, new REO. David and Ramdat, who was a former chairperson, you would know that you have Mr. David and Ramdat there going to the REO position there. And in Region 6, there's a new REO too, Narendra Prasad. So that thing, that position was being held, can't remember her name, a lady of the opposition, the now opposition, the coalition. And you would have seen many young persons being sworn in this morning. It was interesting. The last evening, if you would have missed it also, we would have had here on the program room 592 with Dr. Yog Mahadi and myself, Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony. And let me give you the figures as they are, because it is looking pretty grim as we speak here right now. It is over 1,300 cases that Guyana has seen so far, positive cases. We would have had more than 300 tests being conducted daily. He did admit, this is the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, did admit that there's a backlog of over 1,500 cases, tests that were done that they're hoping to bring down. What they're doing, they have been able to get a regional body, CARPA, and they've sent it about 500 tests so they could bring it down. But he says, in the meantime, they're working to get another tested machine down to Guyana. Cabinet has also given us approval for that, and they're hoping to bring it down. So we are going to have a true picture within the next 3 weeks. He's saying don't hold him down to a timeline. And so that is the case. So we have gone, we have had more deaths according to Kaieteur News here. I'm looking at it is 41 cases. And so we are going to pay attention to that. This morning, the leader of the opposition, Joseph Harman, after that walkout from the National Assembly, while they were holding it, the first National Assembly for under this a finale-led government, he would have had a press conference on the sidelines here, and this is what he's saying, that he's happy that there's a diverse team, that there's a framework that they're going to use via the judiciary to press the case of the opposition, which has just lost the election according to the recount and the count. And of course, they would have filed that case before the court yesterday for the elections petition. And they were also criticizing the advisors that were named to the government, including Leonard Schumann and Ralph Ramperan and so on. They also, Joseph Harman, member of parliament, leader of the opposition, would have also raised questions about who paid Christopher Ram, Nigel Hines, and Kis Nascimento to carry out several of those quick audits, as they call them, of a number of state agencies and ministries. You would have recalled that these three gentlemen were among a team that was named to carry out some quick audits for the new government, to have an idea as to the health of these organizations and the ministry. And so you would have also had Cathy Hughes expressing disappointment at the fact that Leonard Schumann would have been able to get the position or get the nod for the position of deputy speaker. She's saying, by convention, this is a position that normally lands in the hands of the opposition. So they are going to continue to raise this issue here, maybe in some forum or the other. But Harman would have also made some statement. You will recall that yesterday it was the clerk of the National Assembly, Shark Isaacs, would have sent out a letter to all parliamentarians, potential parliamentarians, because they were not sworn in as yet. And he's saying that if you have dual citizenship, in keeping with the court rulings, that you can't. Harman says this morning that he would have submitted his revocation, that he would have written the US. Remember, he had dual citizenship with the US. And after that court case came up challenging the Chandas matter, that was sparked in a number of court cases, including the issue of dual citizenship. If you hold two passports, you can be seated in the National Assembly. You have to have sworn allegiance to Guyana, and full stop to that. And he would have said that he submitted evidence of his revocation, his original documents, sealed with a seal, to the clerk of the assembly, to the speaker of the National Assembly, and he hopes that would pay to some of the issues. He says he's not aware of any other parties within his opposition in the National Assembly who would have been or who holds dual citizenship. So let's see where that goes. So we're going to get into quickly what the Kaieteur newspaper would be saying today. Read that, and then of course we are going to head back and tell you, we want to open the lines as normal because we operate remotely. We want to hear from you guys. A lot of folks would have been raising concerns over the assistance being given via the government to COVID-19 affected families. Well, you would have heard from the president, Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, last evening, who was saying very, very clearly that, look, we are going to give you $25,000, but it's not going to one household or the other. It's going to go to all households. We have 200,000 plus households. That is the way it's going to go. And so we are going to wait on that. So let us see what is it that the Kaieteur newspaper, as normal, we would read to you what the biggest newspaper in the land is saying. And this is what it is saying today. Just 1 second, let me pull it up. And it is the $1.6 billion Ocean View Hospital. Former, and it's infectious disease hospital now. Former AG, this is Basil Williams, says that Rambaran, this is Winston Rambaran, does not own the property. And so he would have broken a silence there. And this is coming from Kaieteur News and of the September 4th edition. And the lead, which is continuing in the vein of what Kaieteur newspaper would have been doing, ensuring that you get the best deal possible from this oil deals or the oil deals that we have in Guyana. And for every concession given to oil companies, you must get something in return. And this is coming from the University of Houston instructor. And so he's saying to you that that everything that you give out, don't give out anything, any concession tax or otherwise, unless you ensure that Guyana gets something corresponding, and that's fair enough. We should, as a country, if we have all these resources, what is wrong with us if we give you something, make sure that we have something that is on the same level? So we are going to continue to pay attention to the Exxon deal and the other oil deals, and in fact, all other natural resources deals that we have, to ensure that our people benefit, because taxes are what gives us a better life. And so you must know that. Be aware of that, and you got to make sure that you tell your representatives that that's what you're interested in. You're interested in the salary. Your salary is the taxes that are being paid to you. The revenues that we collect from all these investors and so on and so forth are part of our revenues. They're going into your bank account, the national treasury. So let's get it clear. Let's get our act together, and let's ensure that our authorities bring the deal home, bring the bacon home. Exxon's Guyana president claims produce water not harmful despite no study done. So they're trying to dispel this big issue that EPA would have raised over the waters that they are pumping out from the wells on the South Shore, that it's not harmful to the environment. However, he hasn't produced any evidence of that. Protesters blocked traffic in several West Bank villages. Police rank injured, businesses cut off. It's very worrisome, especially one road in and out from Berbice here, cut off the entire Guyana from the rest of Berbice. And Berbice has no way out there. The quarantine river is blocked now because of COVID-19. And so we would have also seen the Alex Ponzi scheme was slapped with 10 additional charges. This is not going to go away. I think they were remanded, and we understand that the petition in the High Court. Not unexpected. The former president, David Granger, would have been there, lending support to his team. It is interesting that they are pushing this. However, there were a lot of criticisms on the actual elections petition file, that they were absent the SOPs, the statement of polls, which indicate what each polling station would have reported, signed off on. They were not presented as part of the evidence in this elections petition. So what is the evidence? So that is what the people are criticizing. Chief prisoner officer dies in the home Stretch Avenue smash up. So we are gonna. There's a very sad story. We need to pay attention on what's happening on the road. Accidents will happen, but we can reduce the risk of it. If we just maybe not speed so much, if we don't take unnecessary risks, if we think about the other people that are there in the vehicle, or we think about our family, we should. It's easy to put your foot down on that accelerator and to push the gas up, and the vehicle flies. You feel good. The music is blaring, and you feel good. But any least thing that you lose control, it's damage to the vehicle, and worse yet, you could lose your life. And at the maybe the least worst, damage to your limbs, you could lose the limbs too. So Guyana records part one COVID-19 deaths, reverts to 6 a.m. to the 6 p.m. curfew from today. So that story there affects me directly, and I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop the message to you people today, in that I really want you guys to ensure you are going about your business. We have to make money to put bread on the table, and it is essential that you treat this. The longer that you continue to treat this, and there's a lot of young people. Somebody called from Esquivel and talking about the young people across there. The older folks are compliant. The younger folks are the ones who are throwing caution to the wind. And if this is the life that we want to live, you're causing this country to be longer in a situation when everybody is opening up the airports, when everybody is going along the merry business and reducing the numbers. Our numbers are rising. So it means that our mentality is wrong, and this is very harsh what I'm saying here, or something is wrong with our love for this country, love for each other, our responsibility towards this country here. We need to do what is the correct thing. So Guyana recorded 41 deaths. I think it was have been two more deaths yesterday would have been announced. Exxon defies government authority but makes Guyana out to be the bully. And so here it is. I think it's part of the strategy to cause Guyana to blink and stand down. Exxon is saying that Guyana is the bully because they own these concessions. But the fact is, when you see, imagine you have some gold in the backyard and somebody's coming in to look after it, and then they tell you, you know what, I'm going to mine for that gold in the backyard. But guess what? You can, to the numbers that I'm giving you, you only have limited time in which to check how much money I'm burning in fuel, how much I'm paying workers, how much money I am paying in salaries and so on. You only have limited time, and guess what? The company that is operating in your backyard here, it has protection because it's an offshore company in a state where you can ask for details. And so, although you own that backyard there, you have very little say. So, whatever the man throws at you, whatever bill he throws at you have to take it. And so, which part in the world could you have somebody coming into your country and tell you how they must manage your money? Something going to be crazy in your head, something going to be crazy in our head for us to allow that. And Exxon need to get their act together. I think they're very disrespectful to the people. What they need to do is be a good corporate citizen and come in and let them partner with us. So when I say partner, it's not for you to be our boss, but for you to be the partner. It's simple as that. So, we are going to continue to hold their feet to the fire because that oil belongs to us. It doesn't belong to you. And while you might have discovered it, we want to partner with you and have a good relationship with you and ensure that this country benefit. But when you have one party benefited and the other party doesn't benefit, then you have some issues. We are going to continue to drive it in your head that people would have an awakening, that we're not going to stand by, and we want to ensure that our government also understands this very clearly, that we're not going to stand by and allow this thing here to continue where we have a bad deal and it goes on, and then they continue to draw our oil, they continue to pump our oil out, and we don't have a better deal. You need to sit down at the table because we are nipping this in the bud very early in the game. So that is what it is. So September the 1st, Parliament has begun and it is continuing. The Speaker of the House is none other than Mansour Nadir. And it would have been a sight this morning to see the traditions. Some people might disagree. The traditions are something that is being held dear. Leonard Schumann, who is now the deputy speaker within the House of Assembly. He walked in with his traditional garbs, his traditional clothing, with his headdress and everything in there. A couple of other parliamentarians who would have had their traditional headdress. The difference for Leonard Schumann is that he would have worn those revealing outfit, which a lot of people were criticizing him for, and they would have raised things. But he is very proud of it, and he went to Parliament with it, and he would have stood there, and he would have sworn in on it, and so there would have been a lot of people, his Amerindian brothers and sisters raising, the how proud they were of him. So that's interesting. The photos are surfacing, making its way across social media. So I want to say a good day to you, all our viewers, our listeners who come into us across this land here. Whether you join us from the United States, from Canada, from Europe, across the Caribbean, I want to say good day to you. And of course, we've had people right across from Europe, from the Netherlands, and of course from way down in the other areas of Asia and so on, coming on to us. And across there, and we have all the rice farmers, all the minibus drivers and taxi drivers tuning in to us right here on Kaieteur Radio. And they come and we waking you up because this is a serious show. It is about you, the people having a voice, and we want to give it to you. And we're not going to stand down. You would have seen what would have happened over the last 5 months. People did not stand down. They fought, they raised their voice, whether it's via the social media, whether it's on the telephone. They came on and they raised those voices. That is the kind of interactive relationship that you should have in the management of this country. So, let us raise our bars when it comes to, let's not look at it as if it is the government's job, or it is the parliamentarian's job, or it's the police job. We should, in our individual communities, ensure that we pay attention to who are the criminals. We should tell the police that. We should pay attention to who's selling the drugs, who's causing our little ones, our youngsters to be taking those, you know, stealing stuff, to be going on the road. We need to start paying attention to what is bothering us and put a handle on it and drag it in and take control of the life. And if you would have been paying attention to people like Joel Alstein and the others who would have been giving those motivational speeches, we should pay attention because there's a good message here. Let's take control of our lives and let's take control and bring this country back to the potential that we've been talking about over the last decades. Growing up, I always heard about Guyana being the breadbasket of the Caribbean. We would have talked about our resources and how rich we are. I need to see those richness. You need to see those resources and the proceeds from those resources coming down to you. So let us don't we want to have some of the richness that is coming there and coming down to our people and let them benefit it. It's a good thing. I like the fact that they are talking with a cash grant. I'm hoping that it's not just a one-off thing, that there's a consecutive or other means that people could benefit from. So I want to say good day again to you guys, and I'm going to ask my good friend Raj. We have our two numbers. One is 2267453. 2267453, and you could call that within a couple minutes. We're going to open those lines. I'm going to tell Raj and Joshua to get ready there. Or you could text us on those 6222222, and maybe we could be able to read out those messages that you have. To send them to us there. We want to hear from you. You need to wake up this country. You need to open your voice. Don't let us hear you complaining about our government did not do this, did not do that. You need to open your voices now, and so you can be able to tell the parliamentarians you want to see the laws, whether it is one of the big things that a lot of the Rastafarians, the community would have been raising. Could we see a relaxing of the laws when it comes to marijuana? And so if that's what you need to raise a voice. You need to say to the parliamentarians, we need to have more pension for people. We need to see that. You promised us a couple of things leading up to elections and the campaign, in your promises to us. So we need to see you commit to that and deliver it within a reasonable time period, because it can be a reasonable time now. We would have known that we would have been headed straight into COVID-19 with the new government. So let us see, but there's a reasonable expectation that they have to deliver. They have to deliver the promises. So we are going to continue. And the only person that is going to be able to assist is not a Gildarie, or it's not a Glenn Lal, or it's not a Freddie Kisoon or Yog Mahadi or whoever it is. It has to be you. You have to be the ones that are watching our REOs, that are watching our chairpersons within the various regions, that are watching the mayors and our parliamentarians, our police, and make sure that they deliver. Our ministers must be able to deliver. Our permanent secretary must be able to deliver. The technical officers within the various ministries, they must be able to know that this is not playtime anymore. You have an opposition who's making it very, very clear that this is not business as usual. They are going to use the courts and so on, and we expect that the opposition would do their job as well. But the government has a very tough job. This COVID-19 pandemic has really lashed this world for it has battered this world, and so we are fighting for resources. Everybody is jostling for those vaccines, which are going to come out maybe in the next couple of months. We are fighting for resources to buy the mask. It has taken money that should have been going elsewhere, that would have probably been going to pensions, that would have probably been going for Hampers, to put in to buy supplies for doctors and nurses and medication. Every time we don't take precautions with COVID-19, somebody ends up in hospital. There's a cost attached to that. There's a big cost that is attached to that. You have to pay the doctors, you have to look after the ambulance, somebody has to pay the light bill, somebody would have had to pay the internet because you have to staff it. We have over $1 billion being spent on the building of these coasts there, the Farmer Hotel, the Ocean View Hotel. It's just money that could have gone elsewhere. So let us, put our heads together and bring this country and wake up ourselves, wake up Guyanans. So that's what the show is all about. So I want to say a good day to Mr. Glenn Lyle and family, to all my Kaieteur News colleague, and of course to the Kaieteur Radio team, technical team, been doing a fantastic job there. And of course, my colleague down at Kaieteur News there, from Roy Johnson and the rest of them, the Kimals and Shakima Day and the Michaela, and right down in the department. Charmin, how you guys doing? I want to say good day to you and everybody. We have a young team there that has been doing a fantastic job. Sharvin, we have a Venezuelan, he grew up in Venezuela, would have been back a Guyanese, and he is writing English better than a lot of folks would write English. I don't want to say, we like the youngsters that we have that has so much potential that's going to take over from where the older folks would have been leaving off or been hopefully in the future that I could walk away and say, we have a good team there. We have a good tradition that we would have left, and these guys are really pushing it. And I must tell you that I'm very heartened by what I'm seeing with the team, the young people that we have right now. Lots of energy. Some days I wonder they're paying attention, they're reading, and they're bringing the issues out and not afraid to talk about it. And that's what we need to see. We shouldn't be leaving it to the young people. Let us see the people in the rice fields. Let us see the farmers who've been working so hard. We would have had a couple of them calling from the back dam, wherever they're from, and they would have been talking to us. We would have had the taxi drivers calling us, so we would have had Mr. Waja all the way from Grove. They work in the Timeri taxi service there, the CGI taxi service. Very good guy, would have been good ambassadors to the good people of there. I want to say good day to you guys, all the hotel folks. How you guys doing? So, Raj, I think I've spoken enough. Let us get right down into the hang of things. Do we have a caller online today, Raj? Do we have anything that we have today that we want to see? We want to hear from the good people today. How we doing? How are those guys doing? Are they on? They want to talk to us? Let us know. So we are going to stand by. It is 2267453. And of course, you could send your text to 6222222. In the meantime, while we are waiting those calls to come in, we are going to continue to tell you what has transpired today. It's September the 4th, it's Amerindian month. And then the Amerindians have kicked off things rolling. Leonard Schumann would have gotten straight into the deputy speaker. It is the deputy speaker of the house here. And so the speaker of the house is Mansour Nadir. And of course, you would have seen the walkout of the opposition MPs today. It would have been announced yesterday also. That we would have seen $25,000 being announced by President Irfan Ali for household affected by COVID-19. So let us get it very straight. It is not one household. They're coming to all the households across Guyana to give, I think this is cash grant. It looks that way. So that is coming to all the households, every house that is in Guyana, $25,000 that is coming from there. So in the meantime, I am going to continue to ask our guys to pay attention to what is happening with our phones there. So we are. Let me read to you what we have here on our line so far. I'm a worker for 14 years in the community infrastructure project on the Escobar Coast as a laborer under the NDC, which there's no increase in salary, 25,000 per month, which is the lowest working income to earn. It's really hard to maintain a household with that income. I'm not sure who gets paid $25,000. If you guys are listening to us, the community infrastructure project, you guys got to raise this $25,000. Definitely not enough. I love Guyana. We are looking forward that every Guyanese must be treated equally and not be put into a position due to politics. Somebody should now investigate the village office at Good Intent, West Bank, Demerara. People sit in that office doing nothing. Please investigate. Thank you. Mr. Julian Faber's in charge there, the East Demerara region. He needs to look at what his role is for doing nothing. Government needs to start investigating these people. I wish you a speedy recovery, Leonard. Why the opposition complained about Deputy Speaker back in the 10th Parliament? the opposition had both the speaker and the deputy speaker. And yes, I think I did remember that. Good afternoon, Leonard. I wish you a speedy recovery. Please address the roads in the Fowls East Coast Demerara area. They are in a deplorable state, and don't talk about trucks that line up both sides of the road and the nonsense that occurs in the area. You guys should pay attention. Fowls and more. At that area there, I grew up in that area there. You guys have to pay attention. People complaining about the trucks. If you're going to park your trucks, park it in a way that's responsible. And of course, in the authorities, the people complain about the roads here. I'm listening to the program for the past 5 months now. Please keep it up. Don't give up. The team is good. Thank you very much, dear. And I wish a good afternoon to you, Gildarie. Stay safe. I'd like you to please help those pensioners in the Mahika this morning. My neighbor went to collect her money at the Mahika post office. And when the lady said to the police, we have 3 to 6 people apart, they have to stand 3 to 6 feet apart. They don't do anything about it unless somebody is sitting. Even people sitting side by side. That's what the person thing is trying to say. Hi, Leonard. Just to know that I appreciate very much your program and the advice that you're providing to the citizens of Guyana. Continue to do your work. Wishing that the new government will carry out the wishes of the people of the land. And this is coming all the way from Zamir Bash of London. A good day to you, Mr. Bash. How are you doing? And of course, to all the Guyanese that is in London there or the UK. I want to say good day to Mr. The former UK High Commissioner to Guyana. I want to say good day to you, sir. I know that you would have left, that I understand that while you might have thought that you would have put Guyana behind you, Guyana hasn't put you behind. I understand that you're coming back. Let's see what happens, because the person that would have been put there to replace you, he is not available as yet. So welcome. We look forward to working with you, sir. Again, my brother, good afternoon. Since March, my kids at home with anybody sending any school work for them. I don't have internet, can't afford it, especially now it's hard time. And yes, a lot of parents are complaining about that. They don't have internet and they don't have access to put the kids through. And it's a very long time to keep kids at home. If you have an idle brain, what happens to it? What should I do now? And this is something that I know that the government is grappling with. That's why I find it not. I can't forgive GT&T and any administration that allows GT&T to continue and give us this horrendous service. I'm surprised that the service that I have right now with the internet that I have right now, it's not Blaze or anything. It's a normal internet that is doing this well. When I say well, it's still going and coming. But GT&T needs to do better and pull themselves up. It's not a very good thing. And so, Raj, okay. So we have a brand new program coming on after 3 o'clock today. At 3 o'clock, and that is Mr. Riaz is going to be with us, and so we should look forward to that. I'm being told that it's going to be exciting after 3, so you should join us. Don't go away. Do not switch the dial on this program. Keep it, because there's going to be wonderful music and lots of other things that Mr. Riaz normally bring to you. So, Raj, could we go to our lines right now? 2267453. Let us hear from our people. I'm not hearing them. I don't know where they are. Just sleeping. You need to wake up, because this is a Wake Up Guyana show. And you are with Leonard Gildarie here as your host. I am coming to you remotely, not in the studio today. So you guys need to come on to us. And so do we have a caller there, Raj? So we are gonna wait. Yes. Good afternoon, caller. Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Leonard. How are you doing?
Pretty good, my brother. How are you doing? I was thinking that maybe all Guyana gone to sleep today.
No, well, Leonard, I'm not asleep. Honestly, I am normally based in Maikoni River, but I came out yesterday, right? And I make it my duty to be here to get you today.
Thank you very much for that, and a good day to the good folks in Mahika River, Maikoni River too.
Maikoni, which is Moraika by mission.
Oh my, just a good way down there, man. So you came out to do some business.
Anyway, Leonard, my first point is this, right? The what do you call it, registration for this assistance, right, in Mahika village. I think there's a bias situation somewhere where the registration is concerned.
Well, let me tell you, don't bother anymore with this thing here. I think the president would have announced last evening they have an issue with the registration. So he has announced a $25,000 grant, cash grant to all homes in Guyana. That's what I'm being told right now. We're going to try to develop it as we go down, but that's what the president has announced. So I think they are going to suspend these house to house that a lot of people are complaining about.
And another thing, I want to, before I go for it, I want to congratulate you. Well, no, you at this time you had your time, but I want to make sure I get on to Chris Ram. You know why? Because I want to investigate you on Yog Mahadi, because during the month of, I think it was May month, you were asking Joshua and the rest of them about the salary, and when you asked for the salary, I know we all do with it. I didn't say we all do with the salary, right? On the joke department.
The boys went and hide. Every payday they go and hide.
No, but I think if you all didn't get a salary, you want to make sure, but you all get a salary, you all dock it. Anyway, Leonard, I want to tell you this. It's like the people in my nation, and I think most of the people in the interior. As for this way I'm sitting now here, a friend of mine went to supply Mahika yesterday, and somehow yesterday, he was there for a couple of days, and I think he used to listen to, he ordered the rum shop, 99.1. But this morning he came by a technician. He said, "Man, look, I got a old radio home, and I want to make sure it's with you because I hear this thing, Leonard." No, he said, "I hear a man from the radio 99.1." I said, "Leonard," he said, "Yeah, the man Leonard," right? So everybody's getting to locked into your program, Leonard. And I want to tell you this, is like, you might not know how much you're being valued with this guy and his population, right? But you're doing a wonderful job, Leonard. And I want to
I don't
sure
appreciate it. But you see, the thing is not, I've always looked, I appreciate that. But I've always been very humble. My mom said, you should. This program here, I really want to see people to get on it, because I can remember growing up and they were saying Sharma and so on. And, we got to give credit where credit is due. And when you looked at that and realized that people don't have a voice, I realized during this election time that people really don't have a voice. We had politicians who became inaccessible. You could not reach them. So if it is something that I really want to leave, this is not about the money or anything. We started off, in fact, this radio station, Glenn has given us this radio station here. We have not even taken an advertisement and he say run it. And it costs a lot of money. We be spending millions of dollars per month because there's electricity, there's 3 cell sites that we have to maintain and so on, So I appreciate it very much. It's the people's voice. So.
Anyway, I don't want you to tell me that. I know that, Leonard, and I remember I'm a regular listener. My radio in the Riviera don't turn off from 19. I remember the old lady that called you from quarantine area, no? When she said, "Leonard, I hear your voice, your sentiments, that." You remember that old lady? When you promised to visit?
Yes, I remember that.
You might not remember, right?
Yes, I told her. Yes, I did promise her to visit, and I'm going to visit her sometime.
I'm going to tell you this, Leonard. I'm going to tell you this, right? You're doing a wonderful job, and you might not know, but you're reaching out to the not so popular people, or not so people who could afford it, right? You're meeting out to the lower class or the last class of the people in this country, whereby they can afford a radio and they can hear 99.1, right? And I want to
thank you for that, sir.
I want to ask you to extend, I think you might be hearing me, our wishes to your boss, Mr. Glenn Lal, and this wonderful staff of your radio station, especially Kiana Wilborg.
Yes, Kiana.
I think the government should consider Kiana, give her a job with the oil and gas. Right?
I don't think Glenn is going to allow her to go.
Why? You have something against her? Anyway.
No. We are not going to. She's a very valued employee of Kaieteur News, and she's been doing a fantastic job with the oil and gas.
I remember Yog Mahadi when they had Mr. Anthony Estefan on the 592. Somebody asked, do you think if Fanali is going to give Barjagdi a position? And you know what Anthony Estefan said? Well, I don't think Anthony or it was Yog who said, I don't think that we're going to get such a great asset I will not make the best use of it. So if you have Kiana Wilbrook who has that potential, so where we deserve, right?
Well, let's see what happens. You know that is we have a lot of good people in this country here. It's a good thing, and I think the good thing about it is that people are now, you know, there's an awakening in our people. It's something that I really like. I'm heartened by that, and I see people are talking more and more and more, and that is a good thing because when you talk, our politicians, our leaders would not take for granted. These are what cheap or these are little followers that we have here. These are people who are stakeholders in this country, and that's a good thing to have. That's what we want.
Good. Anyway, Leonard, I have something else that I want to talk to you, but I'm not going to talk to you on the air. I want to talk to you personally. I have your personal cell phone, so we're going to talk. Anyway, before I go, I want to tell you this. I want to wish everybody in that 592, room 592, the hall 592, kitchen 592, the downstairs 592, the entire 592, Kaieteur station, Kaieteur News, Kaieteur Radio. Everybody, right? All the best, especially the morning Alana, Alana partner,
DJ
everybody.
Casual, DJ Casual.
Casual, right. Midget, Leonard, and you, Mahadeo. But one thing before I go, I hope to see back some of that PSC that you went to get the other day. You right? You take care, Leonard. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you very much, dear sir, and do have a pleasant rest of the day. Your words comfort us. Thank you. So I want to say good day to all the good folks down there in the Mahika area, in the Maikoni area. I love that area there. The Maikoni area is somewhere that I know a little. The drill area, my grandmother is from there. I hope that you feel a little better, grandmother. I was there. She wasn't doing so well, but then she started to recover, and she's 80-something years old. Tremendous woman, and she would have done so much in her life. So I want to say good day to the good folks down in the drill area there, for the Quakers Hall area there, and of course Enmore, a place that I grew up and that I know about everything there is to know about it, about the little factory and about those little beautiful houses there that the managers used to stay in. The Enmore Sugar Factory. There's a lot of history there. The Enmore's Friday Market was something, and if you haven't grown up in a sugar industry area, in a sugar community, and you don't know what the Friday markets are, you'll miss out. There's a lot of people shouting. Jalebis, if you know what a jalebi is, I don't really eat it now. It's a lot of sweet there, but it is a Friday market that is something that you look forward to. So many things. The food mix up with the good nature shouts. You'd hear some courses, some bad language, and some fine style there. I think Guyanese people got the best way of coursing. But that is what we are. That's our people. They're very finely attuned to what tradition is, and I think we're going to see with Trinidad, where there's a lot of rich culture. I always wish that we could be so proud of our culture, like the Trinidadians. And this is something that maybe I'm going to take a lot of criticisms for. A lot of people are going to say, "Man, you should not say that our people are not proud of the tradition." But I would like to see the level of awareness, the level of pride, to be raised up to another level very, very quickly. And so before we head back into another caller, let me tell you some of the other things that are coming through here. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. I hope you get well soon. I share my views on what we as a people should stop complaining and try to work together to make Guyana great and not to depend on the government alone. Another thing that the COVID-19 relief should be distributed by going house to house so as to avoid confusion. So yes, it is. They have to come up. I think it's going to be a nightmare with this house to house, because knowing that you put it in charge, do you do it as a region? I want to hear your thoughts about this. How should the money be distributed? You can't have, there's going to be 10 administrative regions. There is NDCs, there's RDCs, there are town councils. Who should the money be put in? Because you're talking millions and millions of dollars. And you know what happens when they get into some people's hands, money disappear and things like that. So whether we like it or not, these are things, it's going to be a nightmare really managing this. But I think there's going to be a lot of thoughts. There's a lot of smart people out there within the government, and of course, somebody's going to make the right decisions when it comes to putting the right mechanisms in place, sharing out this $25,000 per home, as was announced by President Irfanadi last evening. And so this is a very good thing that what a person. I saw persons going around taking down names, and the number of person living in a house. They're asking you to write the name and address and contact number in an exercise book. These people say they're taking down names of COVID-19 relief. Now they cannot explain anything to you when asked question. They're not recording your ID number. I'm wondering if this is a way the government intend to operate in such a haphazard way. These persons were in the Standington West Bank, Demerara, and Port Drawing area. Could you please do some investigation into this and shed some light? Well, I think this point, this issue here, would be placed in the back burner because this they're not taking. I'm not sure if they're doing some other thing else, but there's a cash offer that is being that has been announced by the government, and therefore I think they are going to abandon these exercises. At least that's what I'm thinking, because a lot of persons were complaining about the manner in which it was being done and people being bypassed and so on. Good afternoon. I'm living downstairs of my in-laws. Do I get separate help? Also, I'm living in Bagatson and we haven't got no help since the pandemic. And so I presume if there's two households, it can be one building. If there's one building and there's five apartments, it has to be five family. So we are talking about families here, and I presume that is what we are going to do. If you're living in one home, maybe let's say in the upstairs, and you have your husband and your wife living there, and then your grandmother and your grandfather living in another room, they would have to determine how to treat with that. We'd have to seek some. I rather presume if it's two different families, they would have to look at how they treat those situations. I presume these are things that are going to come up, and we have to get some clarities on this issue here. It's a big money. It's big money that we're talking about here, and we want to know. Good afternoon, sir. How are you? I'm a teacher. I use my mobile data to send work to my learners from March the 2nd to July. And I want to stop here. Good day to all teachers in Guyana who've been towing the line, who've been assisting, who've been using their resources. Although there's been no school, I want to say hats off to you guys. You guys have been doing a fantastic job. But then there's also some other teachers who are charging a leg and an arm and a toe to ensure or to give lessons to students, and who can't afford it, woe be to them. So, there's some good teachers out there, and I want to say hats off to this teacher here. I'll be starting University of Guyana and Bobby's campus online in October. I applied for landline and internet service since July. I called many times and the agent said, I'll get an email in 24 hours. Many 24 hours already passed. Is there any way you can help me out? Thank you very much. I'm praying. Well, let me tell you this. Let me answer this. I'm praying that I have an alternative to GT&T. I want to ditch them. I think they take the eyes and pass Guyanese people. And I think they should come on this program so they could tell Guyanese people how much money they've taken out of this country and how much money they've plucked back in it and how they've treated people during this pandemic. I think they take the eyes and pass the Guyanese people. And Mr. Lal might get very upset with me for taking it out on GT&T. I'm speaking as Gildarie, as a citizen within this country, who has a right to demand better service. And I hope that you listen to me, to Mr. President. You need to do something about this very, very urgently. Allow other companies to come into the country and give them the opportunity to offer the people the same kind of service that GT&T is offering. Because what they're offering right now, I think I would have said it a couple mornings back. This is a very clear, a transparent attempt to steal our money, steal my money. If it's not stealing your money, it's stealing my money and delivering to me a service that is no good. It is what it is, and I have the right to say that. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. I do hope that the COVID-19 tests came back negative. No, it came back positive. I think the opposition is showing signs of weakness because Mr. Schuman was given the deputy speaker. They walk out of the parliament, stay and represent your voters. That's what this person is saying. The government has given 25,000 to all Guyanese household and all, not only PPP supporters. Guyana will be great again. And this is Ken from the Netherlands. A good day to you, Ken. You've been with us for a very long time. And I want to say thank you very much for tuning in to Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5. And of course, Wake Up Guyana show, the people's show. We want to wake you up so you could smell the coffee and you could be able to open your mouth and not stay quiet like what we were accustomed to, because we are people who want to do better things and have better things in this country, so we can benefit and live that life that we so very much deserve. And so, when will government start to share the money and for us to be registered? They're not. I'm sure they're not going to register. If you have a household, they're going to come and they're going to find a mechanism to give you the money. We're waiting on more details on this. So, in the meantime, let's get back to the lines. Why we have read all the messages. 226-7453. You should call that number there, or let us hear from you. We want you to text those messages 6222222. And also, guys in the studio, make sure that you check those texts that are not necessarily WhatsApp. That a lot of people are saying that they send through messages there. Let me get them so we can be able to send it to reach out to the people. 226-7453. Do we have another caller in the house?
Good afternoon, Leonard. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
How are you doing? Not bad.
All right, pretty good, sir. Go ahead.
Look, I am very surprised. You know, when people do you something, one time, two time, three times, you think it's right to go and help those people? Now, let me say something.
Explain.
Now, Sunday was gone. This government went and Tiger Bay and give them hamper. I'm not against to give them, but the coalition, those people collect hampers already. And Monday, yesterday, when they went to the court, some of those people were there. What is happening is that you can't blame nobody, but when you vote for a party, those people are not going to vote for no other party. They're going to this government should have go places like Wales Region 6 where the estates have been closed off and help those people. You know, during this election, it's only about 51 votes this government get from those people in Albaiston, Tiger Bay, and all over this place. But like the eyes don't seem to be open up to now. They had 5 years to rest or open their eyes, but like they can't open their eyes up to now. We are not saying not to give those people or give anybody, but go to the place where the people support you. They have done a lot of stupidity in the past where they have not helped their people. And when the coalition went to power, they helped all their supporters. And this is the problem people have with them right now again. They're starting badly. This is all I can say.
All right, that's the point.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna answer you up here. Thank you very much, caller, and thank you very much for that. You know, everybody has their thing, and people feel it very strongly. As a journalist, as a reporter, as a media person, as is somebody who sits here, I cannot, sit down and say that I would endorse such a stand. Well, it's a very difficult thing. People are watching, and of course, they say charity begins at home. Where do you begin? Do you begin at Tiger Bay, which traditionally has, according to what you would have heard, has not necessarily been a support base of the People's Progressive Party? I think if you're seated in government, that you are a party or you are a government for all Guyanese. I see no issue with the government going there. If you want to reach across the divide and probably try to get the votes, you start somewhere that may not necessarily be the traditional places. So there must be some kind of thinking, strategic thinking that may be in the head of President Finale and his team of advisors that he would have had there. But I don't really care where the president goes. He should go to all the communities, and wherever if he starts in All Boys Song, when he starts in Tiger Bay, let it be that he starts somewhere. It is going to be a beginning. It's a touchy situation. I understand what you're saying, there, caller, and it's something that maybe that they would have to think about. But it's for the president's sake. I think that he is the president for all Guyana, and I would continue to encourage him. If ever that I find that there is a discriminatory way in which help are being given to the people of Guyana, I'd be the first one to jump up and say, no, that's not right, because I understand that maybe I have a right to give a party, some kind of help. Do we have another caller on the air there? Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, caller. You on the air? Yes,
Hello?
good afternoon, caller. You on the air? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You on the air? Yes, you on the air. Go ahead.
Yes. This is.
Yes, good afternoon. You on the air?
Yeah.
Kaieteur Radio. You on the Kaieteur Radio?
Yeah?
Yes, you on the Kaieteur Radio. Go ahead.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. This is Regina Rodriguez from
Yeah,
from Good Hope, Essequibo.
yes,
You
ma'am.
hearing
Go
me?
ahead. Good day to you.
Yeah, we have a land problem in our area where we are living, right?
Yes.
You listening to me?
Yes. Go ahead.
Um,
So what
yeah.
I'm gonna give you, could I give you my reporter number up there and you could give the reporter a call? In fact, let me tell you it is. We have a report up in Borbis and we have one in Escobar there. And so let me give you the reporter number there. His name is Romario Blair, and he did indicate to me that he's happy if I give it out on the air. 654-1700. Please give him a call and let him look into this matter with the land issue that's up there, and maybe we could see.
Yes. You have?
Yes, you got a number there?
No, I don't have the number. Here,
654.
I just want to talk to you a little, right? Hear me.
Right, go ahead. You talk to me. Talk to me.
We have a place where we were working for some years now. Somewhere around 10 years, because we are living on the coast for 12 years now. And my husband uses to work the place. He used to farm on the place, on the land. And he got a stroke, right? And he can't work anymore. And my son that used to assist him died in January. And then I have a next son that is there that is assisting us on the land, right? And because of the area, you know, people like to do some, they do stealing and stuff. And he is trying to he wants to build a house on the land so that we could, you know, do some other farm on the land. Mm-hmm. And then he get a letter from the NDC and stop him from billing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's building a house, right? And the house is building, and we would like to know, and then we want to know, right, if he could continue, because he really needs this. He's already, the house is there, not completed yet, but he is on the process of building. And we want to start back some farm as well. I don't want to do some chicken farming, right? And he would be there to look after it, because he is the one that is helping us. Because I'm of pension age, and my husband is a pension age, and as I just said, he have a stroke. And both of us, we are Amerindian, right? We are Amerindian living on the Essequibo coast at Good Hope. And we would like to know we would like to know that we get this opportunity to build.
All right. So what you want is to have a review of this situation here. And this is the NDC that granted it, or the RDC?
The NDC is from Aurora, right? They
Aurora
sent
NDC.
him a letter to say that he must stop billing.
And he continued building.
He's right now, the building is nearly complete.
All right, what you're going to do for me, I'm going to give you the number for our reporter here. I'm going to ask you to ask him to investigate it, because he did indicate to me that he wants to handle these cases here. His name is Romario Blair, and his number is 654-1700.
Yeah? I'm here.
654-1700. Yes, ma'am.
I would like you to answer, give this person the number.
All right. You sure you want to give that number out on air?
Let me hear the number, please.
654-1700.
654
1700. 1700.
1700.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let me call it.
All right, and let me know. Yeah, call him and he's going to answer and he's going to take it from
Call
there.
it
He's
back
going to
here
advise you.
now. Call back.
Yeah, you can call
Let
him
me
right
hear.
now. No, you call him right now. Thank you very much, okay? And this is one of the many issues that we would have been hearing about the NDCs and the RDCs and some of the decisions that they would have been taken with regards to lands. So without knowing all the details of this situation that is happening, that was issued here by Aurora and the NDC and so on. And why would somebody want to be building in a place where there's some other claims and so on? So let us, we would have been hearing of the authorities like the NDCs and RDCs giving out lands or giving permission for things that they're not supposed to do, especially with state reserves and so on. This is something, you know, we need to investigate. A lot of people complaining, too many complaints we have of this. So the authorities, while it might be advisable to get a lawyer, not a lot of persons are, how you say it, they could afford some of what lawyers are charging. So sometimes they have to find other means, maybe get to the media, write a letter or something. There has to be some other ways of doing it. So if you're not joining us, this is the Wake Up Guyana show, and we coming to you live on 99.1, 99.5 FM, and from the Saffron Street studio. I'm operating remotely from the site because I've been placed on a lockdown in quarantine. And so I hoping that you guys are keeping safe. We also coming to you on Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, also on Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. You could get us on all of that. And today, if you're now joining us, it is September the 4th. And what do you need to know? And what is it that you have to know? It is that Parliament would have convened today, the first Parliament under the finale government. And there is a Speaker of the House, was elected, Mansour Nadir, and the Deputy Speaker, Leonard. The opposition would have walked out of after the swearing of its members, and they're stating that they are going to fight, continue to fight against this illegal government that they have there. However, they've been elected and they are going to take up the seats. Leader of the opposition, Joseph Harman, would have said that based on a letter asking him whether he and others, whether he has dual citizenship, he has presented to the National Assembly, to the officials there, his letter of revocation or his certificate of revocation, proving that he has relinquished his citizenship to the United States of America. He's not aware of anybody else who holds dual citizenship that is sitting on the opposition side on his team there. Kaieteur, who's also in the opposition, the former Minister of Telecommunications, would have said that she's disappointed that the Deputy Speaker position would have gone to Leonard. In the past. She says this would have been in the hands of the opposition. I think many people would have said, but Leonard is the one of the opposition, so what's wrong with that? And so we have some ongoing. As we speak right now, they would have started looking at the budget, the estimates for the constitutional offices, like the audit office, like the parliamentary office, like GCOM, among other places, and they are hoping to pass that ahead of the other estimates of the ministries and the regional administrations, as well as the other bodies, the other state-owned bodies. So we are going to continue to bring you those updates as we get them. In the meantime, guys, do we have any more messages? Do we have any more phone calls? We want to hear from the people of Guyana. We want to hear them. We want them to tell us what is happening. So let's get back to, in the meantime, while I'm reading, let's hope that our boys in the studio could bring us our other callers that are coming in there. So Leonard, namaste. God will relieve you of COVID-19. I hope this new government seek the export of advice our colleagues in India to the Indian Embassy in Guyana for help in the fields of oil and gas, pharmaceuticals, technology, etc., etc. Reliance industry located in Jamnagar, India, shares more value than Exxon Mobil on the Dow Jones as of this month. And let's keep our knee on the neck of Exxon. Without Guyana, Exxon stock would collapse. So it's expected that we get better royalties from that new project. Guyana must seize this opportunity, to rise this country from the dead. If this administration falls, we will be plunged into total chaos. Harman is very upset that his administration will take Guyana to another level. So he and his cabal will try to destabilize this country with organized protests. Harman's action will backfire when the populace sees that the development of Guyana structure will rise. Let's keep the Wake Up Guyana show on the road. Good afternoon. So sorry to hear about the COVID-19. May God grant you speedy recovery. And of course, having problems with my internet blaze. I called GT&T. I was told that I have to purchase my own battery from Star Computer. It costs $12,000. This is Imran from New Jersey. I want to know if I got your correct telephone information. I've tried a few times, but did not get through. Mr. Imran, our telephone number is 226-7453. You could also send us a text to 62222. Good afternoon. Kaieteur will only be paid $54,000. Only pays $54,000 per month. Do you think they could take care of a family when bills are so high? Yes, of course. These are some of the complaints. There are many families without a job too. This government should know that the people are raising their complaints here. Good afternoon, Leonard. The government need to do something with the school children. Some of the teachers giving private lessons at home, and they have favoritism with the child with the given lessons to the teacher. There's one such class going on in Windsor Forest. I'm asking the Ministry of Education to look into it. Hi, sir. What were the island is like Port Island, another island? Will they get help too? No one is looking into our situation. I think all households is what the government says will benefit from the $25,000. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. I wish you speedy recovery. Do you remember when the no confidence motion and the People Progressive Party were protesting, the same Tiger Bay people did disrupt the protests? I remember that, of course, but like I said before, the government, the president, the finale government will have to be the government for all Guyana. So let's keep it as that. We might not be so happy, but we have to be tolerant. That's what we have to be. So let's go back to the lines again. I'm sure there are people lining up there to get into our telephone number 226-7453. Raj, Joshua, do we have another caller on the line?
Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. How are you doing? Pretty good, man. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm a concerned citizen, right? I wish not to tell my name. I'm just concerned about these officers that are in line at the Kanji Rose Hall guest house. I passed and I spoke to two officers there. I was amazed that these officers were actually at a hut with no washroom facilities. There are no sanitized equipment. There are no PPE for them, sir. What is going on?
I do appreciate it because there's something right. And so they have been in line for several months now?
Yes, for about 6 months. The officer, I spoke to one of them and I asked them if they did raise a concern with the commander. And they even said they did it, but they are getting no response. Come on, man. Their family, they'd have to go home to the family. These concerns these are the things they need to look into. They don't care about the police welfare.
And this is something that would have raised our concern some time back. People would have been complaining about the conditions under which police have been working. I have received several complaints about that.
There was only a polling that the police have. I asked them if it is female working. They say yes, but the female have to go at the back into the bushes to urinate and do the number twos and these.
No, that's totally unacceptable, man. And do you know, this is where you say Kanji and where Rosal?
Kanji, Rosal. If you send a reporter to that place, you will see the state of where the police are working in. And they have these patients. They are losing all these patients in the compound with the police. But the police are not getting in contact with them. They are trying to avoid them. But and they have a washroom that is under the house, but the police cannot use it. So I don't know what they are doing. They really need to look into the concern of the police.
I'm definitely gonna ask our people to start looking into this right away. I'm gonna call my report as well.
And this is so bad. Members of the public really need to know what they are doing, and they are threatening the police about the work in the line of duty. Come on, how could someone work in that facility, a place like this? They are in fear of their life too.
Oh my goodness, yes. And sometimes we blows policemen, but you don't know what they got to go through. Policemen and women, they got to work under some very tough conditions.
And I mean, thank you very much. But the females, they have to go into the bushes to urinate. They have to go into the bushes.
And this is which one specifically? This is the one at Kanji or the one at Rosal?
Kanji. The Rosal guest house, where the isolation ward is.
Oh, the Rosal guest house. Okay, good.
Yes, where the isolation ward is. This is not the way to treat the police that is serving in the state of Guyana.
Definitely not. Totally unacceptable.
And
all right, I'm going to raise this. I'm going to have a report.
I'm begging you as a concerned citizen, please let this be heard.
I thank you very much for that. I'm going to raise that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Zir. So this is totally unacceptable. If it is that we put in not a woman, not because they're police. I mean, we have been blowing policemen, especially some traffic officers who believe that they have been doing madness. But there's some good, decent, there's a lot of decent policemen, many of them that I know, who would, at the drop of a hat, they would come protect you if they can, and they're working without resources and so on. So when you hear that police women are being forced to use the bushes to do the necessary toilet stuff that does not dignify. That's definitely not something that we'd want to see our citizens go through. And more so, we know that the policemen and women would have been in line since March the 2nd or before that for preparations with the elections, and we know that they were left stuck there because the elections was not over until earlier in August. To hear that policemen and women have still remained in line, I'm not sure how that happens. We were told even at the I think the Gildarie traffic headquarters, policemen were sleeping under the tents, under some tents in the yard, in hammocks, and the situation there were really bad because they were there. They couldn't go home. They're operating on the what you call in line, meaning that you're at the police station on call, on duty. And for you to hear that policemen and women are guarding or providing security services for people who came illegally into this country, maybe being kept for COVID-19 restrictions, for in isolation, and you can't use that washroom that other people are using, and you're being forced to use the bush. And then if you are in Berbice, if you're familiar with Berbice like I am, there's a mosquito situation up there in the evening. There are a lot of flies and insects and things like that. And so for people to be living like that, this is not something. It's definitely, if the police commissioner is listening, crime chief, whoever it is that is listening, Mr. I think the chief of operations, Mr. Clifton Hickens, you guys got to do a little better than this. The people are calling for some help. And I am going to ask our reporter down in Berbice to look into this matter so I'm off with this here. So we have like about 40 minutes or so thereabouts. We want to bring in some more callers on the line here. So let us go. Raj, Joshua, do we have another caller on the line? We want to hear from these folks today. We hope that they're not sleeping. Are they sleeping? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Gildarie.
How are you doing, sir?
Good afternoon, sir. I'm calling for I had my mother there 78 years. And Saturday night gone, he dropped his pension book, his ID card and his passport and everything. He bought certificate, everything with $60,000 in the bag. I just want for you, just ask anybody who got it, let them take the money and we be willing to give back them some more money just to drop back the documents.
What is the name of the is there a name or ID card or so that I can probably tell the people?
Rabide Suklal.
How you spell that?
Rabide Suklal.
Okay, Rabide Suklal.
Suklal, yes.
All right. And where was this dropped? Where was this dropped?
She lived opposite Hope School on the East Coast. In the Hope opposite.
This is this opposite the big school there. That's by that canal.
Yes. Just next to the canal. Yes.
Okay. Hope School. This also the East Coast there. All right. I'm gonna announce it here. Is there a number that they could probably call you guys on if somebody find it?
646-5581.
All right, I'm gonna put this up. I'm gonna repeat it, and I'm probably gonna put it out there. If anybody knows, let them drop it.
If anybody find it is willing to give them some more money, then take in the bag. I take about $60,000.
Yes, bro. All right. I hope that they find it back. I'm gonna make the announcement, and of course, I think people would have been listening. So, and let's see. I hope that you get it back.
Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you very much, dear. So here it is. That you have a pensioner would have lost her documents and a pension book and so on. They said keep the money, or see if you get these documents. She would have lost it by the Hope School on the east coast of Demerara there, right next to the canal, the big canal there. And so, if you guys have found it, it's Rabide Suklal, and I think that's what the name that I would have given. And so you call 646-5581. You could call the family there, and they are willing to to give some kind of reward there. So if you found something, a pension book in the name of Rabide Suklal, please call the family there 646-5581. And they badly want that book there. There's a pensioner that is waiting. So I hope that it is lost in the vicinity of the Hope School by the big canal of the East Coast there. And so this is by the Hope Beach, when you go around by that turn there. There's a new nice housing scheme there, the Hope scheme there. So let us hope that somebody finds it. The Hope Canal, right next to the Hope Canal there. So I hope somebody finds it and return it to the family they're waiting. So in the meantime, let me tell you, it is the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio, 99.1, 99.5. We coming to you on Kaieteur Radio on Facebook and also Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. And this evening, a little later, just after 3 o'clock on the dot exactly, we are going to be joining you with a brand new program with Mr. Riaz. DJ Riaz, and he's going to come with you very good with his music, and he has a lot of energy there. Unlike myself, I come to you with a different agenda, which is to wake you up on this Wake Up Guyana show. We want you to start talking. We want you to start agitating. We want you to start writing letters. We want you to be aware of how rich you are, and so you could be able to tell your representatives that, I want you to do a little better there. I want you to ensure that our policemen and women, I want to ensure that our healthcare workers are better provided for. What about our prison officers, our fire officers? So many people, our cleaners, our minibus drivers, everybody wants a better life in Guyana. I want to see better roads. I want to see better security in my area. So let us make this country into a better place. Let us start being very much aware. Charity begins at home. Start charity right in your area there. If you know somebody is in need and you could give it to them, please. It might not necessarily be a hamper, but maybe it could be a plate of food. It could be 2 cassava from your backyard. Let us do something that is a little different, because if we could stop somebody from being hungry, maybe we could take somebody off the street that might be wanting to do something bad, not to be hungry. So, wherever you're joining us from, that is a message. It's a message of let us do things a little better. Let us start looking out for each other. Let us start telling our authorities we want better service from you. All of that. We want to say to authorities who are negotiating for a better oil deal with Exxon, you have the power in your hands. Do not allow a company like that to bully you. Do not be bullied. Read the Kaieteur News today. Kaieteur News will be telling you, they have been telling you, and you should read it. There's lots of messages there how you can empower yourself. So don't allow anybody to bully you and say that thing that you have in the backyard there, you know, you're only entitled to this. We should be telling them this is what we want you to have instead of having them tell us what is it they want to give to us. And sometimes it's little or next to nothing. If you look at other countries who would have been involved with oil, and you see when these companies walk away, what is it that they're leaving you with? It should be a harsh lesson. You need to read. Those who have internet, read. You need to get your acts together. I'm not saying this with any kind of disrespect. I'm saying this to you to uplift yourself, to empower yourself. It is simple. This thing is very simple. Start educating yourself. And so in that way, when somebody open them out and they talk nonsense to you and saying, look, you getting 50%. 50% of what are you getting? If people got to take out the expense and they have a right to take out the expense because that's the deal that we have signed with them, then what are you being left with? What kind of business people are we? We have smart business people here, and there are many people who want to help. But you must have the will and you must have the way. And we're saying to you, the people of Guyana, that you have a bunch of people that's out there that are willing to fight. So you have a newspaper like Kaieteur News and Kaieteur Radio willing to fight. So we need to get our act together. We need to get up. We need to smell the coffee. We need to wake up. And so we're waking you up. And we wake up Guyana show today on Kaieteur Radio. So let's get back to the boys in the studio there, Raj and Joshua. Do we have another caller in line? We want to hear from our people. Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
How are you doing?
Well, pretty good. I'm hanging in here. Coming. I'm very happy because I'm serving the people
I
of
give
Guyana.
my sympathy to your, my greetings to you for your fitness and so forth. I hope I didn't
I'm looking at
get
it.
by.
Uh-huh.
Hope I didn't
Let's see how that
get by
goes.
very soon.
Yeah, man. We are going to think. I'm using some
But
lemongrass.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Hold on. Nadia! Turn on the radio limit. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
My comment is today, what the caller were previously earlier said, that is fairly deal. But Barbican give over 100,000 votes. We no receive nothing from quarantine. Region 3 support so much. Region 3 get no support of nothing. Me to myself know in quarantine people are suffering. Me is move about. It's not me. Me on one man. Me no care for nothing from them. But me see people eyes of tears when they go to the supermarket or go to the shop for buy. Feed them picnic because of food. Because they want something on the road. Why you can't carry support and give them? Before them for win election, me are strong PVP people. Me no frightened to talk. Me are PVP people. They're killed for PVP. You can't talk bad about them. But what they do here now, me regret like I vote. You understand what I'm trying to say? Just me say like I'm sorry me give vote to anybody. Two, the police are not dog. Why they have to live like that? Why they have to work in that condition? They can't speak out for themselves. If all your barjack there is not tiger, they can go speak out. Nobody not have a call.
And that is what we're saying. Right. But you know how it is, the culture within the police force. Not only the police force, many ministries, many agencies, and so people are scared to talk. They don't want to lose a job. You're going to open your mouth when you have a bunch of people that is there that is going to maybe...
The people are making comments. I think they should speak out for themselves. There's one deal, drop tool. If you're working here, say something, please drop tool and move. That's my point. Two, three. Mr. Harman and all of them are fighting with election petition. When they rig the election and go in, did them win the election fairly? Let them got some other evidence to go and fight court now. They may had the substance forget win election for go. They not got swearing grains, yeah? And I believe in the next case that they need to walk around and do investigation about who need assistance. Not go just like that share give to any and all body. You understand me, sir, brother?
All right. And I think you have raised some very good points here. And there's nothing wrong with having a different view from anybody else. In this country, we should learn tolerance, which is something that we encourage. Any other country that is democratic in its ways and says that it's democratic, if you hold a different view, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's something that should be encouraged. It's always good to have a different view.
They were claim 4,000 and how body was foreign and 10,000 and how body was there. And who know who them people have voted for?
I don't know. How you asking me that kind of question? Who the people vote for? No, I'm just kidding you, man. I'm pulling your leg.
Who know who
I
they
just
vote
pulling
for?
your leg. Right.
You understand?
Right.
So there appear stupid people just leading the people stupid way.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And I don't fear what I'm going to do. The other day, Harman should be charged. You don't think Harman is somebody
you totally... Right. So you totally disagree with the president...
For create scene.
You totally disagree with the president going into Tiger Bay to give out some assistance?
Not they alone.
Mm-hmm.
Since before, you not take office yet, you go all them various places and I give, you not go to Indian various people. When them people when they empower them and got their own people and give them and give up these.
All right, I got you. All right. Any other points, sir? I hear what you're saying though, and there's nothing wrong with you saying that. This is what this radio program is all about. Thank you very much, dear sir. And so there you would have had it, another different view from what people are talking, and which is a good thing. We should be able to raise those views. Do not be afraid. Don't be afraid who would be looking at you. Don't be afraid who will laugh. If that is your opinion, that's your opinion. And sometimes, I tell you this, many times I find myself in occasions where there are a couple of people in the room and they take a position. I've seen it with Glendale too. And some days I wonder, I look at Glendale and I said, wow, how could he take such a different, like a contrary view to this entire situation? Many times I had to smile because months later, years later, you see that particular view that man, that publisher of Kaieteur News would have taken, it came to pass. And sometimes, many times I sit there and I would have hold a contrary view. There's nothing wrong with you believing and saying something that you know that is right or believe that is right and saying it. Even if you're the only one in that room which is saying that the thing that is right. So be it. There's nothing wrong with that. Because at the end of the day, you know to yourself that you would have raised your voice and you would have said it. There's nothing wrong with that. And that is how this country, in any court, there is going to be a different view. In any country, there's going to be that anybody that is thinking the same all the time. You got to think differently. We got to think out of the box. And it may be contrary to popular views, but so be it. That's how democracy works, and there should be tolerance in that. So I hear what that listener is saying, and I want to say a good day to you, sir. I agree with you and everything that you would have said there. This government here, however, and I saw somebody text me not too long ago, they would have said that this government is for all Guyana, and that's something that I would strongly endorse, that whenever there's a government that is in place, you're not a government for the coalition, you're not a government for the PPP or for Schuman's party or for a Ralph Franklin party or whoever it is. It has to be a government for all Guyana. And so that's why I kind of like that 25,000 per household. How long it's going to last, what's the method that they're going to share it out. I think we're going to have to work with that as it comes along. Where's the money going to come from? We'd have to see how that goes through. How are you going to bring it to the hinterland area to share it out? We'd have to see that too. So I want to say good day to the good folks down in Region 2, the Pomeroon area. You guys would have been in with us every single day. And I want to say thank you very much for that. We have a report up there, Romario Blair, 654-1700. You have an issue, call him. In Barbies, we have a reporter, very good reporter too, who has been almost like a hound dog. And she's been so, and that's all due respect, Melissa Plater Harry. Melissa, how are you doing, my dear? I know that you've been very much on the road there. 651-8326, 651-8326. That's our number down given, Barbies. You have a complaint to make, you give her a call and tell her your story. You have a crime to report, you should give her a call. If you have a complaint about how people are behaving or some illegality that they're doing, call her. Melissa Plater Harry, 651-8326. Let's go back to some of our messages. And of course, I want to say good day to all our folks there. Bibi, Shabira, Hussein, how you doing? I know you guys been in with us every single day. Can't see a day that you don't. Anita Hardial, how you doing? Calling his name, RM Singh Singh. And Bod Suknandan, how you guys doing? Bibi Hamid, Lachman Samlal. And there's so many others who would have been here with us day in, day out. Winston Bachan, Shanta Singh, Sheikh Abraham, and Shanta Singh again there. So, Anne Barkley, you've been with us. I've seen that name many times. And Alan Fitkow, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Sherry, Kobe, Manish, Siram. I know that you guys have been wrong with us for a long time. Mr. Gorak, Andrew Umar, Kabita Chatagun. And so, you know, these guys, we welcome you to this show, man. Thank you very much. And of course, Banmati Jean Ram, she's been with us morning, noon, and night, not only on the daytime show, but of course in room 592, has been somebody who has been defending us. Take Sharon Aziz, the Souza, Sabinat. So we have what we have here. Aklima Singh, Audrey Khan. How you guys doing there? And so Martin is singing. So in the meantime, let's go back to the line. So we have another caller there, boys. Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. You're on Kaieteur Radio. How are you doing? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Do we have those callers? Have we lost it, folks? We don't know. So if we've not, let's go back and read some of those lines that you guys have been giving us to us there. They've been sending us some nice, let us see, Raj Kaieteur team. Raj, do we have any more of those numbers that people calling us with? What are they doing? Good afternoon. I'm resident from Tapakuma village in Region 2. I'm concerned with these children in my village. School will reopen on the 7th online. My community don't have Wi-Fi. What will happen to those children? And this is in Region 2, Tapakuma. The people are raising thing, no Wi-Fi. That will they would be left behind because we don't have the resources for our children. I'm concerned because I have a child who's attending secondary school in Georgia. I thank you very much there from the residents of Tapakuma in Region 2. This is sad, and this is really one of the challenges that the authorities are grappling with. The police were there. Good afternoon, sir. I am a regular listener to a program. I'm from Kaieteur, and I was stranded at a Belladrum protest for 16 hours. And it was frustrating to see innocent children, innocent people with little children, also on the road all night. And no one of the government official was there to clear the road. The police was there and couldn't do anything. It's so bad that the innocent would pay for the wicked. Yes, a lot of people are stranded in the lines because of those protests. And so we got to be very careful that, you know, that we don't punish the innocent because we want to stand up for what we believe is the right thing. The people that would have been on the road believe that they were standing up for the right thing. They were told so by the leaders. And so on the other flip side of it, you don't punish people, especially children. And, you know, we should have, you know, if you're really doing it for the right thing, you see those children on the road, you got to allow them to go, let them go home. Hi, Leonard, you know, $25,000 cannot buy much in Region 1, 7, 8, and 9. I think that a high amount should be considered for those reasons. Please see if you could advocate for that, please. While I know that $25,000 is not a lot of money, people have been complaining. Where do you start? Where are you going to get the money from? So I think it's a start. Let us see where the money is going to come from, and we're going to talk. We're going to talk to our authorities, to the government people, and seeing, you know, how they're doing that. Good afternoon, Mr. Leonard. I'm having a problem with GT&T internet for months. So every time you call it to make a report, the operator is saying all agents are busy. Kindly hold. You have to wait a long period of time before you get to speak to someone who will advise you to turn off the modem and put it back on after 30 minutes. I'm so fed up of GT&T. Well, me too, I'm fed up too. I don't know about you, but I'm fed up too. At the end of the month, I still have to pay my bill. Thank you, sir. Keep up the good work. God bless. I don't know how else to cost GT&T, but I'm costing them. Good afternoon. I'm a resident from Region 5, the village of Bushlat. We need someone in authority to look into the police so we can have better traffic control here, especially by the supermarket area. Also, the road lights stopped working for months now. We need some assistance. The crime is on the rise. A good day to the Bushlat people in Region 5. How are you guys doing? Thank you for tuning in with us. And, guys, stay safe. I think raise these matters with your NDC, with your RDC there, and let them make a case to you, to the government, so they could fix those lights. They could get on to the Ministry of Public Works, so they could be able to look into those lights there, and they could maybe raise the issue with the police and region thing. I see a lot of police on the road stopping vehicles going and coming, and the people are saying that the crime is on the increase. Um, uh, Good afternoon, Leonard. Wish you a speedy recovery. Just want to say that the opposition love to run out of meeting, like the GCOM representative they're doing the elections. These people are a bunch of unprofessionals. It's such a shame. Good afternoon, Leonard. I've been reading that Gaisuku is presently cash strapped. Now, at IFLOT, they have given out contractor former agri manager to get forest to harvest cane. This contractor could pay a supervisor $10,000 per day. I like the Minister of Agriculture investigate, saying how Gaisuku is paying this contractor. But Gaisuku, we would have been hearing a lot of wrongdoings there, of contracts being given out, of how you say it, those things that you throw, fertilizers, of fertilizers rackets being run, that you collect so much fertilizer, you only throw so much and you sell the rest, of contracts being given out that would not have gone through the proper procurement, and then they complain about money. Gaisuko really need to look into these issues here. Lots of corruption within its ranks here, and I have received a lot of complaints about that. Good afternoon, sir. I'm a taxi driver, and there are a few issues that bother me on a daily basis. Drivers, especially bus drivers, more in the lines. It causes people in the lines to leave back. Car front window screens are tinted. The driver is forced to use high beam at night, and they have to do some extra bright lights that cause discomfort to drivers. It's dangerous for road users. Passengers and bus drivers not using the bus stop wherever available. Yes, lots of things happening on the road there. So, thank you very much. And so this is the Wake Up Guyana show. We have like about 10 minutes more remaining before we come down to program time. The guys have asked me to come down because we headed into a brand new program. And we want to ensure that you call us. We have 10 more minutes. Let's get in, those calls. We want to get in a couple more calls. We want to hear from the people. This is your show. This is your show, people, and we want to hear from you. What's it that you think about this government? What do you think about the opposition? What's it that you want your government to do? What's it you're thinking is happening in your community? Joshua, Rad, do we have another call online there? Yes, good afternoon, calling on the air. Let us hear from you today.
Yes,
How are you doing?
Yes, Mr. Glenn, Mr. Gildarie. Good afternoon.
How are you doing? Good afternoon, ma'am.
Oh gosh, you're very energetic. You're not sick, for truth. And
I'm not sick. Yeah, I had a bad night last night.
Oh,
I had some pains.
Gosh.
I don't know if I'm taking on this thing, but
don't take it down.
I have a very positive attitude.
This Kaieteur is move mountain.
I pray, yeah.
I am telling you, I'm the person that called yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah. First thing first, I want to say congratulations to the opposition of the Parliament, Mr. Schumann. And nobody must criticize. I was on my chair and I said, I vote for you, bye. I vote for you. Don't worry, you can get it. And another thing, yes, aren't you agree? Now, yes, I'm telling you. I'd like to ask a question. What about Mr. Timothy Jonas?
I like Timothy. I really like Timothy. I think he would have been a very outspoken man.
Why. I don't know.
He criticized all. Everybody get criticized from him. The reality is, I can't say who I voted for. And I think I would do like Mr. Glenn Lala next time. I would not be voting, so I could criticize everybody. It's a good thing. It's a good thing when you're seated in our position here that we should criticize everybody that is there. And by not voting, you don't have a bias.
No, he did that. I don't know.
Who's that, Mr. Lal?
No,
Mr. Lal did not vote.
Oh, so
no, I think Mr. Timothy Jonas would have voted for himself.
Okay. I like to ask a question. I didn't see when the now I want to know before I go on the wrong side. The is it the opposition or the coalition? I must say. What's the name of the parliament? Is it opposition or coalition?
You can say the coalition. The coalition,
but the right name.
Well, they are a coalition, and they are in there's two opposition really. There is the Schumann is in opposition as well. But if you're talking about the main opposition, you're talking about the coalition, which is in opposition as well.
Okay,
so that would be the correct thing.
Yeah, but I for the beginning I was watching. I didn't see when they walk out. All right, man. They want to another thing. What I want to say. I want to say this government at the inside, they have to take time. They don't push nothing. And this other thing about the voucher that not a voucher, the hampers that they give out at Tiger Bay. I mean, if the president, if he wants to do that, that's his intention. And I don't think it's a lot to give. And if he wants to give it, I mean. I can talk about me. Me get nothing, Me get nothing. And as I said on the person call yesterday, you could come in, came and ask about me. My husband is 6 years now. I have 3 children. It's better me than get none. Better God make me baron. I tell you them big.
No, don't say that, man.
Mr. Grenland, I'm telling you I have a big house here, but sometimes I don't. You don't get. Look. I do remember you when my mango tree the bearing. I give out, let me tell you, almost 10 buckets, them black bucket where you just do mason work with. I walk in and I share into people and I said, God can bless me. But I'm a sick woman. As I told you, right now the officers, as I told you, I got the officers in my ears and I using the antibiotic and I got the phone far from my ear. And I told her I pass through glaucoma. I go through hell. And I can't get the artificial teeth. Just remember me yesterday I spoke with you. But God is so good that I couldn't even
Yeah, of course.
Yes. And then I got spine problem in a minibus accident. So the main thing with me, right where I live in, it got a land next to me. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it at all, but I had to do it. I don't want to. This morning I got to this buy, and I tell the bike come with this place. If Mr. Yoke, if you stand up on Mr. Yoke's shoulder, it's along the grass along in the yard. Monkey, yeah, come in at night. Me got my neighbor there. The monkey come in my house 12 o'clock at night. Me know how he bought through the ceiling. When my husband was alive, he nail wood from the ceiling for rat, but now me no monkey now. I have fruit trees in me yard. Look, I must have over 10 pound guava falling on the ground. I'm my back up hot me for pick it up. I want me to think me just give it. Sometimes put it to stand there and say, but me not able to sit down in the sun. I got pear tree, I got banana tree.
You know what, Carly? You're really I had many callers today, but let me tell you this.
Yes, but
I love your positive attitude.
Yes.
And you really uplifted my spirit, and I like the way. Although you're telling me some of the things that you're going through, and I can hear in your voice. I like your attitude.
Right now, I put my mattress over there in front of my door. Right, but I know my husband, right at the bell, no way that coming from me. You live over Kaieteur here? I need them. Me say me want go. Me tell me turn your bomb. Me not put me over there. But I can tell you, at this country we gonna get better. We gonna get good. God gonna there. I tell you we gonna get good. You hear? And this government today is not for one person. We are all one. Right, Mr. Grant? I have 2 Negro children. One named Kwame Mohandas Karam Chanoga. His father named me after Mahatma Gandhi. And you know the guy that get shot at Ashman year before the last? Right at Ashman, he was a cambio dealer. He is my son-in-law.
Yes.
He is.
Yes. I know that guy. I know that guy. I know him.
He's a very nice person. And that is my.
Yes, I know him.
Yeah, my only daughter. Only daughter.
Oh, man.
Oh, only daughter. But them don't go to church. Them go to church. I had the man bearing her today, they put you out the house. Then I get you nothing proper. Anyhow, before your father get you, that is from my married, but me tell me, and I look me, Mr. Glenn, me they in here, but I know God is for me. But Me not get nothing, but this buy what they over here. If you come out of me gate and you watch to the south, you not see the next door neighbor. All the, you see grass. One time
I want you to call Kaieteur News. I want you to call Kaieteur News and give them your number, and I would be able to get that number.
Make a come myself. God go tell me make a come.
Not come, no. We will come to you. So call them, give them your number. I'm gonna call.
What?
And we probably gonna surprise you.
Yeah, here what happened. Me yard east, west, north, south barricade. Me they in jail with zinc. Come the zinc so high. Because you know why in here dangerous. Nighttime, Mr. Glenn, me not sleep nighttime. Mr. Glenn, me go in my bed 5 o'clock and 5:30 in the morning. Me don't sleep.
I hear you, sister. I hear you. Look, here what I want you to do for me. I like your attitude. I love your attitude. I love your positive side of things. I want you to call Kaieteur News 225-8491.
Yeah.
Give them your number. I'm going to get a number for them. Tell them you left this number for Gildarie.
Joshua.
No. Yeah. Here what you're going to do for me. 225-8491. Leave your number with them for me. And I'm gonna find you.
What's your number?
I'm gonna find you.
My number?
Your home number.
Yeah,
your home number.
What number I must call? The same number I call here? What call you on?
No, call 225-8491.
225.
And tell them 225-8491. And tell them to give it to Gildarie. 8491.
My house not hard to find. As you come in Jimbo Bridge, right opposite the very long street, the fourth house on the west side. It got plenty white flower tree. I love flowers. When I was in school, at every Friday there's be art, and right now if you pick any flower from this wall and bring it, I could make it. I am a florist. I just make mole. So you know what name mole?
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
All right, so you're gonna do that for me. Leave your number, and I want to get hold of you because I love the way that you've uplifted my spirits today. And so that's a very good thing. You keep that attitude. I like you.
Please give me the number once again.
225-8491.
8491. I got to talk it to me, meet my pen because I'm gonna forget. 8491 225. Thank you very much.
So you tell them to give that to Leonard Gildarie. Give that number to Leonard Gildarie. I'm going to call them. And so I'm going to take it from there. But I like your attitude and you keep that up. I thank you very much for that.
225.
Much love. 8491.
Okay, then.
91. Much love to you, my lady. You take care. Bye-bye. So that's it. I really like that lady there. And so she has such a positive attitude. And that's the kind of attitude, you hear so many things that she has gone through there, but she seems very upbeat, and I like that. And that is the kind of attitude that we should have in this beautiful country of ours. We've come to program time, and the guys tell me I gotta cut it off right now. And we're preparing for a brand new show with Riaz, and that's gonna be interesting. Do not switch the dial, because we are gonna be with you as we bring the curtains down on Wake Up Guyana today. You could get, if you want to relook or you want to listen to the show again, you could go to Kaieteur Radio, and you could get that on Facebook, or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. And we would have been coming to you on 99.1 in Berbice and Demerara, in Berbice and Esquivel, and 99.5 in Berbice. So I want to say thank you very much to you wonderful folks. As always, it has been a pleasure with you guys joining us, Chandra Narayan, and how you guys doing? Imran Bash, thank you very much for bringing us, for being with us here today. And of course, you guys, as always, have been friendly, tolerant, and I would have expected a lot of criticism with some of the stands that we take, but you guys have been there with us, and so I want to say thank you. And of course to all our beautiful people across this land of ours, and of course overseas, Caribbean, New York, Canada, Europe, wherever you're joining us from, and to my good people down in the studio there, Joshua, Raj, I want to say good day, and of course to Mr. Glenn Lal, and a good day to you, Dr. Yog Mahadi. I hope that you're spending good time with your family and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So thank you very much for joining us here on Wake Up Guyana Show 99.1, 99.5. Have a pleasant rest of the day. We are going to be back with you, same place, same time tomorrow at 1 p.m. And so that's where we leave you, say goodbye. And we're not going to have a room 592 this evening. It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're going to be back with you tomorrow night at 7:30 with no other than Attorney General Mr. Anil Nanlal. So thank you very much. Have a pleasant rest of the day. Until.
Coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Furby's 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.